And good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to UndercoverET. I hope everyone is doing really well. Guys, I know it's cold here in the UK. I've even been recording less. And to be honest with you, it's been a bit dead out there the last week or two. I've been doing half an hour here and there. Bitterly cold. No radio hits whatsoever. But I suspect that may change in the next month. If you were around and watching the channel last year, I was going live around late February, March time. And it was kicking off, guys. It was kicking off. Radio hit after radio hit. It was very, very busy. I am going to put it to the test this year and see if I get the same thing. But honestly, I'm getting the odd dragon, but nothing else at the moment. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, I've got an update for you today. Bit of a mixed bag yet again. Epstein files. Apparently there was a murder. I've pulled out an email from the Epstein files, shared it on X. I think it needs investigating. The redacted name in there is a big, big question mark. I'd love to know who it is, so I'm going to share that one with you today. Also, Danny Sheehan, he's been on the UFO podcast talking about catastrophic disclosure and what the government think we might do, or at least a large portion of the public, should they disclose. So that'll be interesting. We'll listen to what Danny's got to say about that. And also, someone else has posted on X as well, another potential in a object or a UAP or a rock, don't know really what it was, that appeared during 3IATLAS Perihelion with the sun. I've got some images to show you. We're going to look at them, or at least one, and I need your thoughts on it because I'm not a very spacey dude. I don't know what I'm looking at with space, but I'll give you my thoughts and we'll go on from there. And also, Anna Paulina Luna doubles down regarding UAP investigations within the White House. So very interesting. We're going to listen to what Anna Paulina Luna has got to say as well. As always, folks, like and subscribe to the channel. We do need your support. Support the public's evidence. Support disclosure. And if you are new to the channel, guys, this is the place, UndercoverET, where you record UAP and you get the evidence into me. If it's any good, I analyse it and I show it to the world, guys. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, Crazy Swede. Transparent UAP by the sun or something else. I really wonder what it is that created this anomaly today on GOES 19 imaging. UAP or something else. When 3IATLAS left its perihelion by the sun back in 2025, I caught the object in the second photo by the sun on GOES 19. Is it the same object that somehow got lit up by the reflection of the sunlight from the moon? Or some other object shining light upon it? Maybe someone out there can shed light on this matter. NOAA, NASA, or NRL, question mark. Well. Let's have a look at the original, because this is where he's pulled it off from. Okay, so there's the sun. This is the perihelion, or the moment where Atlas is behind the sun, right? And then you've got this anomaly here that shows up within this streak of whatever this is. What could this be, guys? Any astronomers out there? This is why I don't do space. I don't really know what I'm looking at, but just looking at this original, that looks like a relatively large object, large enough to be a large ship or a large rock, right? Like this is large. You can see it there. Very, very cool. But again, we're looking at, this is a big ass bit of space up here, guys, and this is a tiny fragment within it. And there's the zoomed in image. Don't really know what to make of it. Is it a rock? Maybe. Even something with jagged edges is going to look round or oval from a distance. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments. What could that line, that streak be? And do you think this is an asteroid, comet, or do you think this is something else? Thanks very much, Crazy Swede, and give him a follow if you haven't already. Thanks very much. All right, so I posted this one here. Say what now? I don't recall a murder investigation within the Epstein files, but this here clearly needs investigating. Check this out, guys. So, same email from Jeffrey Epstein, the one that's always been used in his correspondence regarding these files, from Redacted. I call him now my future husband, and we're talking about daughter. I thought I would never be able to kill somebody in my life. I was wrong. I might escape anyway. Miss you, Jeffrey. Big kiss. Although now you probably won't like to kiss me anymore. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Total redaction of the name here, okay? I don't think this is from someone within an office. or an office working environment, because, you know, there's clear things here, like not starting with a capital letter, you know, probable, and when she clearly meant probably. I say it's a she because we're talking about a daughter. So having a family, that could mean adoption, but future husband, talking about a daughter makes it more probable that it's man and woman. This is from the woman. I thought I would never be able to kill somebody in my life. I was wrong. I might escape. Anyway, miss you, Jeffrey. Wow. A little bit taken back by that. I wonder who that is. We'd love to know the redacted name. I couldn't give you an insight as to who it could be, but I just believe it's someone who doesn't sit behind an office, but apparently they've killed someone. Wow. Alright, Skywatch Signal says, Danny Sheehan, catastrophic disclosure. People would be jumping out of their windows. Now, he doesn't mean it in that context. That's what he says the government think we would think if we were told. I was just watching Danny Sheehan on the UFO podcast, and he literally nailed it. We are taught how and what to think in school. Fall in line and end up as consumers, materialistic bots. He said it loud and clear that the catastrophic disclosure is a hard sell. The whole tale of people jumping out of windows is just BS, and we all know it. I agree with Danny's view. The only people it would be catastrophic for is the elites. And this is a good point. I like this, so let's have a listen.
To be there, but you almost, there's an element of society that wants to be controlled, and
Yes.
you want the hierarchy, you want the power systems in place, because there's a comfort within that. There's a safety blanket of, I know I go to my job, I get this much money, I work these many hours, here's my free time, I can pay for this, I can't pay for that. Now and again, you get to break into the next level of money, of wealth, of power, of status, and you work your way up. Sometimes you work your way back down.
That's their world. And that's their world. And it's the public education system that trains people into becoming a cog in the wheels, you know, of that industrial state. And it's not necessary, you know, that we can take power. We still have the ability in these democratic societies to take control, if in fact we will do our job as citizens. And the education system doesn't train the people to do that. They tell them about the Constitution of the United States. They tell them about free speech. They tell them about a freedom of association, a free press, and all of that. But they don't really do it. You know, they don't think that's their part to actually participate in that. And it's not a surprise, because the public education system is run by the state, and the state is run by the elite. So you have to figure out. So people say, "Oh, Danny, you know, oh, this is so overwhelming. You know, how do I start?" I'm telling you how you start. You start by getting disclosure about the UFO issue, because what that's going to do, the fact that they have concealed this for as long as they have, and it is of such monumental importance for us knowing where our place is in the universe, and it also has access to such incredible technologies that can solve many of our problems. We don't have to contaminate our planet with petroleum as fuel. There's alternative sources of energy. You know, there are alternative sources that we have access to, the wealth of the universe. You know, there's all kinds of asteroids and asteroid belts that have resources and stuff that we can have. We don't have to authorize fighting over limited resources on our planet. We have access to resources in the entire galaxy. You know, but they want to keep it secret, because their entire economic system and their entire elite status of superiority over everybody else is rooted in maintaining the idea that there are limited resources and they're scarce, and that we get more of them than you get. Okay. And so that they view that, the revelation of the fact that this just isn't true, that we have access to all these different resources in the galaxy. We have access to all of these different technologies that can help solve a lot of our problems here and make our planet a flourishing place for everybody. They don't want that. They don't want that. And they view it as catastrophic. Quote, catastrophic disclosure. and they keep trying to pretend, like that we're going to go jumping out of a first-story window or something if all of a sudden we discover that there's an extraterrestrial civilization, that we're not at the apex of all biological evolution in the entire universe. They keep on trying to tell people, the regular people are going to jump out of windows in despair, and that's catastrophic, as though they care about us at all.
All right, guys, so let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I happen to agree with what Danny is saying there. Yes, we are attuned to the way society is right from the get-go. Right from when we're conscious within our bodies, we start taking information in using the tools that we have, the brain, to live in the society and be more materialistic. And I couldn't agree more. People are more interested in just stuff they don't even need, or stuff that represents nothing. It's just materialistic stuff. And I couldn't agree more. And people are more focused on that than they are on the reality of what we're talking about. And that's where the issue lies, guys. And that's why a lot of people are like, well, why is the world not talking about this? The world is not talking about this because the world has been programmed to think differently about this topic. That's why, guys, when you try and show people your evidence and you get the odd look, it's because they are programmed to immediately think and give you that odd look before they've even looked at the evidence. And they've already thought of 5 or 6 different things it could be before they've even seen it, I guarantee you. And it's a mentality thing. But don't worry, things will change. Things aren't going to stay sour forever. Big shout out to Skywatch Signal and the UFO podcast, or that UFO podcast, and Danny Sheehan as well. Thanks very much. All right, John F. Kennedy Jr. says this: something non-human is being discussed behind locked government doors. US Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna says she was shown information inside a skiff, a highly secure, no phones, no recording room, where top secret government material is reviewed. She suggested that interdimensional beings she learned about may even connect to ancient text removed from the Bible, like the Book of Enoch, which talks about non-human entities giving advanced knowledge to humans. Luna says these beings are real. She can't say more without breaking security rules. This is now the second member of Congress claiming she's seen undeniable proof of non-human intelligence. She's doubling down, all right. Let's have a listen to what Anna Paulina Luna has got to say.
Saw some interesting stuff. And so what I'll tell you is that footage, the fact that it was dead dropped to Burleson, I'm certain that there's more of where that comes from, and we are going to push for the declassification of stuff that we've seen, because I think the American people deserve to see it. But I think, you're never going to have the U.S. government admit or try to explain something if it's also somewhat not specifically pertaining to national defense. So if it's not tech that we've made, not involving a foreign government, I think that you're going to see a direct statement from that. What's interesting, and I kind of went into this with Joe Rogan, is when we were talking to some of the witnesses, they don't call them extraterrestrial. They call them interdimensional. There's also this aspect of these things defying physics as we know it. And then you look into texts that were removed from the Bible, like the Book of Enoch, that actually specifically address technologies, if you will, that were given to mankind or of entities not of human origin, non-human intelligence. So these are all things to consider when addressing the topic. But based on what I've seen, not speculating, based on the evidence that I've seen, there's something out there. And based on what I'm saying is it's not. I think that it's along the lines of that video that you just saw.
Have they shown you? Okay, so
I have to be careful, because I could get in trouble if I divulge what I've been shown in a skiff. So what I can tell you is I'm just telling you, as me not specifically addressing skiff stuff, that they're real. And I'm not the only one. You just saw the Secretary of State in a documentary addressing the same thing. I know it's a mind loop, right? But like Pinellas County, where I specifically represent, there's actually a high number of these reported sightings. But it's not just there. A lot of the members on the task force or that gavel into this, first of all, it's bipartisan and bicameral. Like we've had pretty much everyone's circulated at one point, right, through task questions and whatnot. But members in Alaska, the member of Alaska specifically has a lot of reports of this. People that, represent these areas when you get calls to the office, I've seen a lot of kooky stuff too that I know it's like crazy, like provably false. That's AI, CGI, whatever. But then you have the stuff that you can't explain. And then you have the attacks on the witnesses that come forward to testify, which if it wasn't real, why would you try to be discrediting someone? And why is the Department of the VA leaking people's records to the press if it's not real, right? It's like if if you're being told not to look under that rock, you might look under the rock. And so that actually happened to David Grush when he came forward to testify, is his medical records were leaked to the press.
So there you have it, guys. Another congresswoman who's just doubled down on the fact that UAP, NHI are real. And so we don't really need to hear it, but they do need to come across and pull the evidence forward. But people like Anna still need to say it. There are a lot of people in the world still affected by the programming and the stigma that we were brought up into, and they don't realise what's on the line here. So I'm glad that Anna's saying it. I'm glad other people are talking about it as well. And it's only a matter of time, guys. Like I keep saying, it's only a matter of time before that change is coming. Let's continue. All right, up next is Northern Indiana UFO Watch. Let's take a look at this clip and see if we've got some instantaneous acceleration, because I feel like we might have here. So he's got his focus here on something. This is the object in question. And all of a sudden, I say it's in focus. It's not. It's far away. Boom. Shoots up. And then he's kind of zoomed out and he's like, where's it gone? And there it is, guys. It's just up here now. And so that's a classic moment. And then it just kind of looks like it's drifting down again, right? So just watch that again. Now, the whole clip's 1 minute and 50 long, so yeah, it really does. Look, it looks like it kind of goes off to the left but ends up here. It's super fast, you know, whatever it is, it's super fast. Just not very clear, guys, just not very clear. And it's much the same for most of the rest of the clip. It's too out of focus to really tell what it is, but that movement was impressive. I don't understand why it would move so fast only to go such a short distance though, and then remain visible. It's very strange. And then as he backs out, it just looks like an ordinary shooting star, you know, but it's not. And that's a really strange moment there at 40 seconds. You can see a stagnant star in the background here. So it's at 40 seconds the moment happens. We've got another 20 odd seconds left of just this. So you can see the downward trajectory, and then it moves to the left here a little bit. I don't know whether that's because he's zoomed in or what. No, it's moving left and right there. It's hard to know if the camera's moved at all. Doesn't look like it. And that's the instant moment where it vanishes. See? Heading to like 11 o'clock. And then he backs out and there it is. Very cool, dude. There is a lot more that you've sent me, but I just want to try and show the most compelling videos, and this could be one of those, but it's so blotchy, which is a shame, because if there was I realise it's nighttime and that's why it's so difficult. But yeah, good effort. and keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing, and that's what it's all about, guys. It's about recording the skies, making the effort. One day you will capture something that is just nail on the head if you keep going, especially if they are flying above the skies that you're in, and I can guarantee you, no matter where you are in the world, you'll likely capture something somewhere at some point if you keep trying. Well done, Northern Indiana UFO Watch. So that's all we've got time for today, folks. Apologies for the sun beaming, trying to beam in from behind me here, but I'm going to end it there anyway. So as always, like and subscribe to the channel. We do need your support. Support the public's evidence. Support disclosure. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for putting the effort in and for getting the emails into me. Thank you so much. Take care. All the best. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.